New plan. Act natural. Act natural. We've done nothing wrong. Hello!
Oh, it's you.
Welcome to another MojoPlays Showdown. I'm Ty.
And I'm Aaron.
Today we are giving you our personal top 5 best PlayStation 3 games.
Keep in mind that these are our own personal favorite games from the PS3 era, so if you don't see a game you think should be on this list, we probably loved it too, but had to limit our entries to only 5 each.
But tell us down in the comments what your top 5 PS3 games are, and I will see you there. I'm excited to see what you all choose for your picks.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. My number 5, Split Second. God, I miss the old Burnout games. With nearly every racing game, arcade, or sim going open world, I miss the days of closed tracks and shaving precious seconds off your best times by learning and memorizing the layout and shortcuts. Split Second was an incredible throwback to the arcade racing games on the PS2 and managed to put its own spin on the genre by framing the entire game as a television show. While the racing itself was as frenetic and solid as you could hope for, it was the power plays that really made the game stand out. After building up your meter, you could blow up obstacles or even the entire track to take out the other racers and in turn change the layout of the track completely. With constant explosions around every corner as the world zips by in a blur, this was the peak of arcade racing on the PS3.
My number 5, PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale.
Yeah! Ready? Fight!
In my eyes, PlayStation All-Stars is unfairly labeled as a Smash clone. Yes, it's a platform fighter themed around a specific platform, much like Smash Bros. And Nintendo. But it presented some unique ideas to stand on its own. For instance, the focus on the AP meter encourages players to find windows of opportunity to incorporate their supers into regular combos. Then you have the way stages are designed, crossing over various IPs for not just aesthetic, but for environmental hazards, layout, and music. I am very well aware that Kratos was and still is broken. However, to me, this wasn't just about delivering a solid fighter, it was also about celebrating PlayStation history.
3, 2, 1, time up!
My number 4, Borderlands 2.
It's cute that y'all think you're the heroes of this little adventure, but you're not. Welcome to Pandora, kiddos.
I'm usually not one for multiplayer games. Even ones designed with multiplayer in mind, if it has a single player option, that's how I'm gonna play. After starting Borderlands 2 solo, a few friends of mine convinced me to join them one night, and it honestly became some of the best and most memorable experiences I've had playing video games. Combined with the fact that this is the best Borderlands game to date, solid gameplay and bazillions of guns, and more guns, and one of the most charismatic villains in gaming, Borderlands 2 was already an incredible game and a marked improvement on its predecessor, made all the better by the people I played it with. I haven't had a multiplayer experience like that since then, and I may never have it again with all those friends having moved on with their lives, but the memories will last forever.
My number 4, Infamous. I know that many Infamous fans are more drawn to the second game, or even Second Son, because of the new ideas, the new powers, new characters, and in Infamous 2's case, new Mirai. I am too much of a purist to accept such a different voice for Cole, and to accept Subway as a part of new Mirai. That ain't gonna fly with me, man. The first Infamous was just so special in its concept and execution. Wield lightning powers around Empire City as a Jason Statham-looking dude? Of course I want to play that! That sounds awesome! And even after playing the first 2 games recently, all of the Infamous games I platinumed too, by the way, I still have more appreciation for the first game's story for its writing and tougher player choices. Of any PS3 games that should be brought forward to PlayStation 5, Infamous would benefit significantly, and it needs to happen.
My best friend looks me in the eye and then makes a second mistake.
My number 3, Portal 2.
Do you have any idea how good this feels? I did this! Tiny little Wheatley did this!
The original Portal was lightning in a bottle and the true standout of an already impressive package when it was released with the Orange Box collection, but the sequel managed to take all of those things that made the first game so original, build and improve on them, and create one of the most rewarding and hilarious video games ever made. Video games are designed to teach you their mechanics and make you feel clever for using them the way the game intended, and no game accomplishes this better than Portal 2. Combined with a well-written and consistently hilarious story and the introduction of one of gaming's greatest minds in Cave Johnson.
So, welcome to Aperture. You're here because we want the best, and you're it. Nope, couldn't keep a straight face.
The intricacy in which the puzzles are designed allows not only for experimentation, but also manages to guide the player through them without constantly holding their hand. For science.
When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons! What am I supposed to do with these?
My number 3, Twisted Metal. I have to admit, Aaron chose a better game than I did for my number 3. I played Portal 2 on PC and Xbox 360 though, so I couldn't count it here. But Twisted Metal deserves a spot from me. Some fans weren't about the focus towards online play and the condensing of the story. I, for one, didn't care for the online either, but I still loved everything else, including the story mode. I honestly thought, in terms of narrative, this was the best and most ambitious we had seen from Twisted Metal. The way the characters all had their stories sort of intertwine with each other and segue into the next one, it was so cool. Gameplay-wise, I felt the controls were better than before, with how vehicles handled and how responsive they felt. I loved the massive selection of vehicles that included cars old and new. All of this gave me and my brother hours upon hours of fun as we spent our summers and weekends indoors, messing with the physics, sniping each other, bullying the AI, and so much more. Call it an opinion based more on personal experience, I still think Twisted Metal was one of PlayStation 3's best games. I genuinely do.
You're about to die. Find health.
My number 2, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. This is where I feel modern cinematic video games started. While the first Uncharted was a decent time, besides its story and instantly likable cast, the moment-to-moment gameplay left much to be desired from a developer clearly still finding its footing with their new direction.
Dear God.
Oh, no, it's not that bad. Look, I have my own bucket.
Uncharted 2 was a substantial leap forward over its predecessor, improving nearly every aspect in a meaningful way. The story was more emotional, the gunplay and cover mechanics were a huge step up, the cinematics had no equal at the time, and best of all, no jet ski segments. Uncharted 2 is still the high bar the franchise reaches for, and while the likes of Uncharted 4 definitely managed to outdo the series' second entry in every way possible, Uncharted 2 will always hold a special place for me.
My number 2, Mod Nation Racers.
Only one more to go.
First off, I would like to commend my colleague for recognizing Split Second. That game is amazing, and if I may, I would like to make a special shout out to Blur. Man, us racing fans were eating good in 2010. But when it comes to the PlayStation 3 specifically, there is only one racing game that every PS3 owner needed: Mod Nation Racers. This wasn't just PlayStation's answer to Mario Kart, this was a kart racer that you could make your own in more ways than one. Design your own karts, create your own drivers, and build the track of your dreams with a variety of easy-to-use and intuitive tools. And even if you weren't the creative type, you could still find enjoyment in the single-player content with the top-notch track designs and hilarious writing in the story. This game was one of the very titles that embodied me throughout high school, but not as much as my final pick.
Got some bad news, Tag.
That card is a tomb on wheels.
My number 1, The Last of Us.
I've been on quite the adventure, little brother.
I reckon it's got something to do with that girl.
It's got everything to do with that little girl.
You had to know this was coming. The Last of Us was the swan song for the PlayStation 3, and like the Uncharted series before it, completely changed the landscape of cinematic gaming for the whole industry. The story of a viral outbreak had of course been done before, but never on such a personal level as the journey across the ruined United States with Joel and Ellie. These were clearly damaged and broken characters who grew to care for one another just as the player did, and though their dynamic has been applied to countless other games since, none have managed the same nuance and fidelity as Naughty Dog's The Last of Us. I've replayed this game 7 times now, and every time I still manage to become fully engrossed in the story as if I'm playing it for the first time all over again. This is, without a doubt, one of my favorite video games of all time.
I swear.
Okay.
My number 1, Brutal Legend.
I can fix anything, except that.
Metal is dead.
I cannot deny that Aaron's list is really, really strong. Like, mad props to him. But we all went through these generations playing different games, and the game that I kept coming back to again and again and again, even to this day, is Brutal Legend. I love this game so much, I have it on every platform that it came out on. Xbox 360, PS3, and PC. As a huge fan of rock and heavy metal, this was a game I got lost in for hours, days, weeks, months even. Developer Double Fine Productions had crafted an entire world from the styles of heavy metal, filled it with lore and environments unlike any other open world game we've seen before, and delivered. On top of that, you could customize the Deuce into a hot rod of nightmares and rage. There were cameos from various rock legends like Ozzy and Lemmy, who starred as their own characters within the world, and the enemy designs were some of the most creative I have ever seen. Some days, I just boot up this game just to drive around and blast Electric Eye from the car. And the story, truly one of the best I have ever experienced, and I still re-watch some of the cutscenes today. Brutal Legend is worth every second of your time, and it's a real shame that we still haven't got a sequel yet.
Once in a while he might step on stage just to fix a problem, to set something right. But then before you even realize he was there, or what he did, he's gone.
So far, I think this is the first time we both agree that each of our lists are really solid, but whose list did you prefer, and what showdown would you like to see us go head-to-head against next? Leave us your suggestions down in the comments.
And it's not out of the question that you might have a very minor case of serious brain damage.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips for MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.